Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. We are here. We are back with more of our Kingdom Hearts tabletop role-playing game, Dreams of Nobody. There we go. I'm looking at the name on my screen, and I forgot how to read. I'm looking at it going, I know these words. Why can I not say them? I am your GM for today, the Bardic Knock. You can find me on the internet, Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube, all as the Bardic Knock. We are using the Interstitial, our Hearts Intertwined system, made by Riley Hopkins, and I believe it was his birthday yesterday. So go say happy birthday to them over on Twitter, and their Twitter is at Rev Rybread. Rev like a reverend, Rye like the bread, and bread like the bread.
It do be bread though.
It do be bread. So, before I allow the wonderful faces say words and introduce themselves, I would also like to say, hey, Nerds with Dice is an awesome community, and they are currently on the lookout for recruitments? Yes, recruitments. Sure, that's the word. Let's go with that. Recruiting people who would like to run or be a part of games in the upcoming summer season, which I believe is starting June? Yeah, I believe there is vague notions for May to have a month off, and then things come back in June. So go check that out, I believe, on Twitter. So that is at NerdsWDice. You can go find the forum and check that out. There's also Discord. Check out Discord. It is full of wonderful people, like these people. And that is all of that. Also, if you have the disposable income or would like to support the channel, you can do by subscribing, which is a wonderful thing you can do. Support this, because it's good, and Teddy does a lot of good work and deserves money for it. So there is all of that. Now, other human beings, if you would like to introduce yourself, let us start with Capjack. Capjack, who are you?
Well, that's a real philosophical question for this time of the day, but you know what? Outside of that, hey everybody, I am Capjack, or you can find me here, of course, on the Wednesdays, and occasionally on Twitch.tv at Captain J Cross. I'm a little out of it, sorry. But more importantly, today I am playing the wonderful, delightful, totally doesn't cause gobs and gobs and gobs of trouble, Sirish. Currently possessing the body of Magneto due to them being the connected playbook.
I'm still so happy with Magneto beans.
Magneto beans!
Alright, is there anything else, Capjack, or do we move right along?
Move right along. Oh, that's the first world we visited, my bad.
We might go back.
Oh,
There's shenanigans afoot. So with that, we have Kay. Kay, who are you today?
I don't know. Oh, hi. I'm Kay, aka Undead Kay. You can find me over on my Twitter, which is just at KUndead. You can also find me occasionally on my own channel. I'm hoping to get a regular schedule, but things have just been very hectic and keep being hectic because life. But I do have my own Twitch channel where I do things from time to time. And yeah. Oh, today I am playing Xylene. What is her? Discarded, I believe is the name. Yeah, Discarded is the name of her playbook. Basically, sort of playing Riku. Sort of.
See, I love the Discarded playbook because it literally says right in it, like, you could have been the hero if the other person was
but
there.
you're not.
And my mind looks at that, and I always hear that, I could have been a contender.
I feel like that's kind of basically the class's character motivation.
I mean, it Yeah, it is. There's moves that are like, hey, you egg your friends on, saying, hey, do better, get good, like get
Get
good.
good, scrub.
Good. Bardic.
Oh, I would.
I'm just picturing Xylene going, "Get good!" 2 middle fingers.
Real
I
quick,
would-
hey Bardic,
Yo.
do you have a new picture on your wall?
No, that's been there for a while. That's
Oh gosh, that's worse.
no. Although this is one of the wonderful things, and why Teddy is a wonderful human being. Like 2 or 3 years ago, Teddy got me that when she went to a con because she knew I was talking about Kingdom Hearts, and she bought that and sent
Aw.
it all the way over. And
Oh,
That is
Teddy's a-
ridiculously
So
sweet.
It is, and it's. I think I was literally because in a Discord we were in, I was talking about Kingdom Hearts, and she went to a con and saw it and got it, and it's like, that's too kind, thank you.
Oh,
So, camera, focus, please. There we go. Moving around too much. So, that's been there for a while, and my camera is very unhappy because I keep moving, so I'm just gonna... Wait, you know what? Lauren,
Yes.
you are now... You're a moving picture today.
I am. Yes. Hi. It's good to be back on camera. Yeah, I'm Lauren. I'm playing Rissix, the Mystic, who has basically decided to be Team Mom in a kind of I don't care about anyone else, but y'all are my babies sort of way. And yeah, I'm just very excited to be back. If you see me looking down a lot, it's because I'm knitting a baby blanket for my soon-to-come niece, so I'm very happy.
That's adorable. And of course, if at any moment, obviously, pain, just you don't even need to say, just click camera off and get yourself comfortable, and we'll adjust. Obviously, your comfort comes before anything else. So get that done. All right, I believe that is things. So recap. Last time.
recap or Sora?
See, I'm now going through my mind that, okay, is there any character in like Disney or Square which has like Cap? Oh my god, Captain America. Recap is the ship name between Rico and Captain America.
Oh God!
oh
into it.
no.
I don't know. I mean, Captain America, Captain Marvel.
Captain-
I was going to say Captain Planet for some reason, but I
Captain
think that
Britain?
is Disney, in fact.
I
Captain
don't know.
Britain.
Captain
Oh,
Britain.
Captain
Britain,
Hook?
hey now.
Don. Okay.
Oh,
Don.
Oh my god,
Oh.
Captain Hook!
Oh, now.
Y'all listed Marvel here. I'm like,
There's a whole bunch of recap
Yeah.
options. But the recap option we're going with is remembering what we did last week. Look at that. Trendy. Segue, that's the word I was looking for. I'm on it. So, after taking on the, well, not taking on the form, after basically taking control of Magneto, Zarish has convinced the Morlocks and the Brotherhood of Mutants to work together with the Gargoyles to essentially take down a conglomerate between, I want to say, I'm always going to get these names mixed up. It's Trask, right?
Yeah, Bolivar Trask.
Yep. Yep. And David Xanatos, which also, I am very, very ashamed to acknowledge. It took me up until my most recent rewatch to realize that Xanatos' first name was David, to be a David and Goliath connection.
Oh my god,
what?
I thought you were gonna say it took you until just now to realize it was voiced by Jonathan Frakes.
Well, now I know that as well.
Gargoyles
Yeah.
is a Star Trek holodeck episode. Yeah,
It
like Warehouse
basically
13.
is. It basically is. There's so many. Like, Marina Sirtis voices Demona.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How do I not know these things?
Michael Dorn is not good.
I know Brent
I know Michael
Spiner was
Dorn's there.
Puck.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, because he's like.
I love how this just becomes a nostalgia trip and we're like, ooh, shiny objects. Let's talk about the thing.
Okay,
mean,
so I was super
yeah.
into like voice actors and stuff before I
yeah.
started voice acting. I think
Mhm.
it all stems from me not realizing that Mufasa and Darth Vader were the same person.
Oh my gosh,
But then
yeah.
I had to overcorrect, and now I have to know who voices everyone and
Everyone,
everything.
yeah.
See, I don't know what it is, but I have both overly good memory where I remember really, really useless things, and then I'll just forget people's names or who. So I'll sit there and go, I know this voice. That's the same voice as this person who also did this,
Mhm.
but I will not remember their name for the life of me, like ever. Like someone could tell it me like 12 times, and I will never. Could see one character like, oh yeah, that's that same actor who was in this show, who was in this show, and was in this show. I don't know their name.
See, I'm that way. Or I just like have this weird like, oh yeah, no, it's this actor, and people are like, who the hell is that? Well, you see.
Yeah, I can't remember anybody's names, but I can tell you like everything that William Fichtner is in.
That is a supreme talent.
I don't. Yeah, it's. I didn't get any of the good mutant powers. I got the weird mutant powers.
Didn't we all though?
Yeah.
Now, whilst we
Speaking
all
of mutants,
thank you, I was about to say, whilst we all
Also-
ruminate on that for a moment.
Michael Dorn is Coldstone,
ow.
and Kate Mulgrew is Titania. So there's another Star Trek.
They're everywhere.
Cold Stone is making me want ice cream.
Okay. So, we will finish this recap and then we'll get into it. I promise. It's in my brain. I have it. I have a little Rolodex of information to get out, and I will get through it. Brotherhood of Mutants, Morlocks, Gargoyles teamed up with Team 6 through 9, who are currently Gargoyles. Agreed that the Brotherhood and the Gargoyles, they're going to go deal with the big issue, like the big issue being the Sentinel Iron Clan, or the Iron Sentinels. Their name's not super important, just Sentinel Gargoyle robots. Bad. Very bad. Meanwhile, Team 6 through 9 decided, you know what, we're going to go take care of right-wing propaganda and go beat up J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, yes.
That's the
Very
truth,
satisfying.
and it will be incredibly satisfying. And the team arrived, did just wreck the office a little bit, found that J. Jonah Jameson's office is entirely a set, that he wears like cargo shorts and socks with sandals underneath the desk, and Spider-Man turned out to be a vaguely centralist, don't rock the boat too much type, which I know some people might get upset at that idea, but I'm sorry, that is 100% what I imagine Peter Parker to actually be like.
Oh yeah.
Like, I know that on the whole he's a good guy, but I don't know, I just kind of get that vibe from Peter Parker in general. Like, you don't want to push it too far, I support you, but I'm not gonna hurt myself to... That's just the vibe I get. I could be entirely wrong, and please feel free to tell me why I'm wrong. Spider-Boy fans.
Spider-Boy.
Well, what side was he on in Civil War?
Iron Man. But then I
Iron
think he
Man.
Oh, then yep,
defected.
Yeah.
that's why. Yep, that explains
Yeah.
it all.
I mean,
He
okay.
did
DC
defect,
registration.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, it's really... I mean, this is me trying to remember Civil War, because Civil War is... This is going to make us all feel really old. Wasn't Civil War like 15 years ago?
Don't.
Something like it was right after I was getting back into like reading comics other than Ultimate X-Men.
Yeah, like, because I remember Civil War is what got me, like, seriously into... I will go and buy comic books every week or whenever I can. And it's over 10 years. Like, I think closer to 20 at this point.
Oh, jeez.
The fact there was a Civil War 2, but we all just don't talk about anymore.
Yeah, we don't talk about Civil War 2.
I literally didn't know that.
They decided to make Carol
Oh, it was
Danvers into a bad
2006.
guy. 2006, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So I was right 15 years ago.
Oh my
Yikes.
god.
But yeah, so I get that.
And also,
way
what the
they'll go,
what?
like,
No, I'm not. that
Like,
Danvers.
Issa was like paid off by Iron Man to follow them. It's like, okay, I get it, but bleh. Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so yes, we have vaguely centralist Spider-Man, who is currently stuck to a wall as J. Jonah Jameson has the darkness inside of him has been unleashed, revealing this large gibbering mouther of sorts, just an unshapely mass of darkness with many mouths. And I think that these mouths will be constantly spouting, like right-wing buzzwords,
Oh
You
no.
know, it's just facts. Facts don't care about your feelings.
Oh.
They're making the
gonna-
frogs gay.
Well, actually.
God.
Oh my god, there is one that just says, well, actually.
Oh,
And there's
God.
one going on.
Oh no!
Oh no.
There's one that goes on about, there's no such thing as white privilege. There's one going on about.
I'm gonna punch all of the mouths.
Yeah.
Is one talking about like the trickle down?
Oh my god.
Uh,
Yeah, they're constantly bringing up, the agenda. The agenda. It's just awful. It's just a gibbering. It's just a gibbering mess of.
We all take one
buzzwords.
psychic damage.
I hope not.
That's where that harm on my character sheet came from. It was preemptive.
Just listening.
It was just this existing, feeling the need to ask questions like, well, why were they walking alone? And things like.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Oh my god. This-
All the
Phrases
things
that
we
will
hate.
make me pop a blood vessel for 100.
I'm not racist.
But
But
Oh my god, people are the worst. And this is that collection of everything.
What was it? There was some
God, it's
comedian who
internet
said,
comments come to life.
oh
oh
no.
no. He must be destroyed.
I'm waiting for a small portal to open for Luz to pop up and just shout at them, you're not making an argument in good faith.
Only we
That
had
was
that
my-
power. Oh wait.
That was 100% my favorite moment in all of Owl House. When Luz just... Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I love that show.
So, that's the scene, that's the recap, that's where we are. Oh gosh, trying to remember how this game works is a lot of brain. Now, obviously there's no initiative doesn't exist, so we don't need to worry about that. So I think what we will do is, yeah, you know what? Let's just start off. We'll start off with you lot. You'll make your moves first, and then we'll see what happens from there. Would anybody like to take charge?
First off, does anybody still have damage? Okay.
Very much so.
So first thing that Rissix is going to do is use magic to heal.
Yes, that is a very good thing. So
Okay.
let's not
Let
that
me
way.
find all of my.
Yeah, like I
Tabs
apparently have harm
open.
on my sheet, but I literally don't remember where from. It might
Okay,
be from all the way back in Owl House. So I don't actually remember.
All
But
right.
didn't we
it's
have
there.
downtime
Yeah.
in between then?
If
No,
I had
we
to-
jumped right to this one.
Oh no,
You
we did.
did.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is
So we
the-
didn't
Oh,
have.
yeah.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay. 5 plus 4 is 9 plus. Is it 2? Yes, plus 2. 11.
Oh, okay. So
Oh.
I finally made a good roll.
you can pick 3.
Okay. I will pick the magic heals 1 harm twice.
Mm-hmm.
Since I thought you said you had 2.
Yes, I have to.
Okay.
Spider-Man hurt me.
And
I'm sorry.
and
Please tell me
I
Xylene
will-
says that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just so J. Jonah Jameson can recording and look here, we have
And I will, let's see, inflict a semi-permanent condition. I want to. Okay, you said that it's like gibbering mouths, like lashing out and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to stick some of the mouths to the floor.
Oh.
Interesting.
So how does this look? This curative.
Okay.
I'm trying to think
So with
of a
one
phrase.
hand, with the hand closest to Rissix, to Xylene. I'm gonna be kind of making this like pulling motion to pull some of the like brighter colors from the area, and then do the mom in the driver's seatbelt thing, and that magic is gonna go back and heal Xylene. And then with the other hand, gonna be pulling up from the floor, and you see the like the grays and stuff from the floor come up, grab onto part of the mass, and then just pull back down. So yeah, and it's some of the mouths that it managed to grab are stuck to the floor now.
Okay. Some of the mouths being stuck to the floor, like through the muffled nature of being pressed against the floor, you're fairly certain you can hear some of them say, "We are being silenced!"
Cancel culture.
Oh no.
But yes, that is successful. So, Xylene, you may recover 2 harm.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that hurt. I'm good now.
Bad spider. Bad.
Be a fighter.
Who would like to go next?
Okay. Magneto beans. So first they're going to direct the other 3 to just attack the darkness.
So that is Demona, Mystique, and Scarlet Witch. Remember that we've got, the sexual confusion trio. There's got to be a better name for them than that, but that's the most accurate description I have.
I keep thinking Teen Girl Squad, but like literally none of them are
That's
teenagers.
because
Look, they're the girls we all wanted to be when we were teens, so it translates.
Okay. So let's do some magic. Let's do some fun Magneto bean magic. 9. Okay. That's something.
Okay, 9. You can pick one.
Wait, can't I spend a link to get an extra 1?
You can spend a link, I believe, to gain an extra dice roll. It's essentially you can spend a link to get advantage, essentially the equivalent of, from what I recall.
Nah, it's fine then. Let's see then. Let's just start with a harm.
Okay, yeah.
So, like, comically, like, Magneto Beans will just bring up a bunch of assorted office supplies just from everywhere. So, like, paper clips and staplers just come in as, like, hands and fists, and they're just smacking the mouths. Kind of like in a weird batting motion, just, no, stop it, stop it, stop it. For 1 harm.
Wonderful. Oh god. See, I've not allowed myself to absorb too much right-wing media. What's the annoying trigger phrase they use when they try to talk about violence, like, done against them? Like, I know they have one. Like a really condescending term they use, and my brain is just
so
not
much for the
remembering
tolerant
it.
left. That's the
Yes.
one.
yeah.
So much for the tolerant mutants. There we go.
So yeah, that's what they're shouting out. I just love the idea of like staplers and pencils being used to slap someone. It makes me very happy. Okay. All right. So yep, we will deal 1 harm there. Xylene, what would you like to do?
Okay. I'm getting really tired of hearing all these mouths going off. This is annoying. So I'm actually going to attempt some magic.
Woo!
And I got an 8.
Okay, 8. You can pick one.
Okay, so I would like to try to do a semi-permanent condition. And I'm going, I essentially, so I'm going to say that Luz from, previous world had kind of inspired Xylene to do a little bit better, or practice her magic but try the whole rune thing. So she really quickly just pulls out a piece of paper, draws a little symbol on it, and it almost looks like just a finger up to the mouth, but all lines. And she's just like, hush, 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 I can't stand this anymore. And just this glowing rune just sort of comes out, and essentially I want to try to silence some of the mouths. Just finger over the mouth, no more talking, you're done.
I very much like that. How does this look in your what does the magic look like in this? Does it create a big hand and it goes shush, or does it just leave an imprint of a finger over some of the mouths, or?
I'm gonna say it's a bunch of little hands just sort of pour out of the rune and go and just to some of the various mouths, just finger over the mouth. You're just done talking. I don't want to hear it.
This makes me so happy. I just get happy by the idea of silencing nonsense. If only that could work.
Right?
But yes, that is successful. So, before I move on to Gibbering Jameson, I'm very happy that's the name I came up with. So, before we move on to that, Scarlet Witch, Mystique, and Demona. What do we think their actions are? I assume Demona is probably just going to go do a punch. That sounds like a very good Demona thing. So yeah, you know what? Let's do that. Demona's just going to go do a big punch. That is a 7 on the die. So I assume she has dark scores. Okay, yeah. So Demona is just gonna deal great harm because Demona is aggressive. So Demona will kind of leap in, wing splayed, claw out, and just. In doing so, when she makes contact, you see the amorphous shape is. I don't want to become reliant on saying things are kind of slimy, but I think it's kind of slimy. And it just kind of And so Demona strikes, but then finds herself grappled by it for coming in contact. It's almost like this mass wants you to engage with it, so then it can trap you.
Yeah, true.
You see the metaphors? These are big brain metaphors.
Upon seeing this, I'm going to just really quietly say, I am so glad I didn't try to smack this thing.
So, that is Demona. You know what? I then think Scarlet Witch is going to do a help. I think Scarlet Witch is going to defend from harm. Because I see Scarlet Witch running support. That is a 7. Yeah. So, Okay, so I haven't actually watched WandaVision yet.
It's so good. So good.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Does Scarlet Witch in the current iteration of things still do the whole Winds of Destiny change shtick? Or has that been scrubbed from existence?
It's more reality rewriting right now,
Yeah.
matter manipulation and. But she does now have the thing that makes her know more of the things, so I would say it's not out of consideration.
Okay. Well, you know what?
She do what she
I will
want.
let you.
Yeah, she do what she want.
Yeah.
I will let the Scarlet Witch diehard fans fight to the death over the description of how she does this defend from harm. What does this look like in people's minds?
Okay, well, we have a definitive example of this from the series. She would throw her hands up and create kind of a shimmery, red-tinted bubble.
Okay, yeah, I like that. So, red-tinted bubble, that will protect her, like, kind of push the slimy, awful, toxic mess off of her. However...
Figuratively and literally toxic.
Oh, yes. Like I said, we're being massive brain with the metaphors here. You know, they're quite subtle, so keep an eye out.
Wait, there's been subtext? Oh my god, I haven't seen. I've missed it. Oh my god. Oh, I need to pay better attention. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, my brain is now going through all the memes, because obviously you know how the new Gundam thing has been announced, and there's already so many memes about people going, "Don't make it political." It's like,
you've never watched Gundam, which I haven't actually. I've never seen Gundam.
No, but I assume people have seen the meme where it shows like someone like a little stick man looking at something, like, you know, like, wow, cool, whatever, like, wow, cool fight, and then the little overarching thing. And the Gundam was like, war is bad. You're like, wow, cool robot.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I have literally seen that.
Like, so yeah, Scarlet Witch protects Demona, and in doing so, she is kind of exposed because she's having to put her attention to that. So she would be unable to defend herself if she were to get attacked currently. Mystique. What does Mystique do in this situation, do we think?
Doesn't Mystique have a gun?
Oh yeah, she has a big ass gun.
She has gun. She has like a big ass, like, I feel like she just
shoots gun.
I believe we did establish Mystique has a big giant gun. So you know
and
what?
then I pulled out my gun.
Okay. So yeah, Mystique is just gonna pull out a gun and just fire off. You know, since this is a 90s animated TV show, they aren't bullets, they are lasers. But she just fires off a round of lasers into this goop and just leaves like giant holes in it. Just it's very, very
Which
satisfying.
makes sense. Light versus darkness.
Yeah.
It does.
What are those
We all know.
metaphors we got going on today?
We all know that lasers are the perfect weapon of light.
I learned this from Real Genius.
Why do you think they call it a laser light show?
Because Pink Floyd's great.
Yeah, I was gonna say defeated by the power of Pink Floyd and weed.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and not get too distracted here.
Sorry.
No. This is just because I need to share something. First of all, I'm gonna preface this by going, I know he's a terrible human being, but I saw Roger Waters doing the Wall album.
Ooh,
I saw him performing it live.
that's amazing.
So good. Anyhow.
Why do terrible people sometimes make good art? It makes me angry.
We can enjoy that and still acknowledge that he's a terrible person, and then we get everything. We get to feel morally good because we know bad person, but we can also go, that's really good art. All right, so we still have Spider-Man, who I think is just stuck at the wall, and I don't think we need an extra person involved in this battle. I think Spider-Man was really here as a cameo appearance. You know what? This is Spider-Man in his the oh god, which movie was it where Spider-Man made like the briefest cameo appearance and everyone lost their shit?
Oh,
Civil War.
That's
right?
it. Yeah, this is
Right.
Civil
Yeah.
War Spider-Man. He's gonna show up, beat up an old man, beat up a war veteran. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Gibber and Jameson.
but also like, would he be fighting us right now with giant Gibbering Jameson right here?
Well, that's it. I think
Giant Gibbering Jameson is all spelled with J's, by the way.
oh yeah.
That's just the rules.
So many. Okay, so now I
Oh
have
dear
to do
God! I just
something.
realized something. Whew, sorry, I had a moment.
What, you just have a
Oh,
A
you know,
plan or a
just
realization?
slide J. Jonah Jameson
Yeah,
one
I
letter
was
to the
just
right.
thinking that. I was
Oh.
just
Oh
thinking that.
no!
It just clicked.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
So because I mean that's something I think I need to process for a very long time now. But I wasn't going to do this originally, but because we've now pointed out that Giant Gibbering Jameson is 3 J's, I think this thing is going to attack by small parts that are going to split off to make Giant Gibbering Jameson Juniors.
Oh, no.
Quadruple J's.
Oh.
So I believe that is going to be its attack. It's going to like just whoop, 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 whoop. And a series of small blobs, each with at least 2 mouths, are going to leap out and do attack. So I'm just going to one by one roll these. These are quite basic. So strike of intent. Let's go strike of intent against Magnetobeans. That is okay. So that's a 7. So it can deal 1 harm, but it cannot defend itself.
Okay.
So if you wanted to, I forget the move, but I believe you can react to it.
Do I?
I'm just trying to recall how it works.
I think interfere is a thing,
Yes.
but I think you have to, yeah, interfere is a thing, but I think it's like, yeah, if you try to physically step in and stop an action.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah. So I guess I can interfere. Well, I'd say let's resolve the rest of them and see what happens.
Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, let's do that. So that will be an attack on Magnetobeans. On Xylene is also a 7. Well, these are getting just straight 7s. Ooh, okay. I'm making positive sounds, but it's not a positive thing. So that's an 11 against Rissix.
Oh no.
So, okay. So
Now's a great time to do an interfere.
that would be a very good time. Because on Rissix, what it will be doing is it's going to deal great harm and defend itself. So Rissix is going to get hurt real bad if somebody doesn't help her.
Magnetobeans is perfectly happy to do some weird stuff to try and prevent this.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's roll dark. That's a 9. So what is
You
that?
still get 1.
I was just going to ask a quick question. When you switched from Mystique to Magneto,
Mhm.
did you move around any of your stats? Because obviously you could have done that, so you could have given Magnetobeans like more dark and less of
No.
something else.
Oh my gosh, I do have 1 dark. I'm so glad you asked. I was like, yeah, I rolled a 9. Oh, if only I had 1 more. Oh wait, I have a dark of 1. I have 10.
Yeah!
Thank you for asking.
Vaguely remembering how the game works. So
All
yeah,
right.
10. How would you like to interfere?
So Magnetobean sees this is all getting ready to happen and breaks up a bunch of the office supplies and just makes shields in front of everyone real quick. Just like a quick so that they punch the shields.
Oh, that's so good. I really like that. That's a really cool effect. It's just these giant Gibbering Jameson Juniors just they leap out. You know what? Not too dissimilar from like Tribbles, if Tribbles were more aggressive and not little fluff balls. Just like "Wah!" and just splat against, the menagerie of office supplies and filming equipment that makes them makeshift. It's actually kind of really impressive. It's very cinematic. I'm down for it. I am here for that. Okay.
Yeah, like
So-
I
Did
don't
I
think
get any-
Control, because I've been obsessed with playing
Ooh.
lately. It's such a good game.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't know Control. Please explain this to me.
Okay, so it's like a... Are you familiar with Warehouse 13?
I am very familiar with Warehouse 13. I
Excellent.
watch it at least once a year.
So I'm in the middle of a watch currently. We just started season 4. It's so much fun. Michi has never seen it, so it's going great.
Oh.
Right? Thank you. So
Yeah.
it is a perfect cross, I think, between Warehouse 13 and SCP.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's
And
like
it is a
one of my
PC game,
favorites.
And if you like Alan Wake,
Yeah,
it's in the
from the
same
same company.
universe.
Yes.
Ooh. Okay.
There's
I might
stuff.
have to-
There's like a fridge that has to be watched at all times.
For it.
It's such a good
Okay, I might have
I
to
just
make a
finished
note
it.
of that somewhere.
game.
Also, just because I need to say it because it will burrow in my brain. Remind me, is it season 3 or 4 where where leaves permanent trauma in your brain where you can never, ever, ever listen to Kate Bush ever again without crying?
End of season 3, which we just got through.
Yeah, no, I'm still traumatized by that. Perpetually traumatized by it. Just,
You gotta love
Okay.
that, things that traumatize you in the best way.
So, yeah, just I'm playing the scene in my mind and I'm trying not
I
to get
literally
worked up
watched
about
it last night.
Oh, buddy.
Oh.
How's
Yeah.
Michi holding up after that?
I don't know, he's in chat. Well, there he goes. My
I
heart.
just see my heart.
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Okay. Slow exhale to try and focus on.
So did
Fun
I take
happy
any
things.
harm or?
Let me just read the interfere, how that actually works. Okay. So you got an 11, which just says they don't do it. So they don't do it. I
And
love
no.
the commands in this. Just these perfect little descriptions. Like, Magnetobeans just said no. Just no. Okay. So that's the juniors.
Has
I believe-
Eileen done a thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
Eileen said hush to the mouse.
Right.
Yes.
So I
Which-
figured that's Magnetobeans' move, right?
Yes, that will be your move the coming round. Like,
Cool.
it's so weird. It's not really rounds. It's just I
It's just
enjoy
like,
the
okay,
silent
everyone
game.
go.
Yeah.
I very much enjoy this, but it then makes it hard to keep track of what's going. Like, I enjoy it, but it's trying to rewire my brain from very rigid initiative 1, 2, 3, go. Okay.
It's
So the
just
juniors
once
did
everyone
that.
is gone, do it again in whatever order you want.
I believe Gibbering Giant Gibbering Jameson Prime. This is where Xylene's effect will come in, and Rissix's effect actually, because obviously you stuck to the floor and silence. What it was going to try and do is it was going to try and spout right-wing propaganda at you, and try to convince you, like, well, there are bad people on that side as well. And other vague nonsense, talking about the plight of the average working American, I guess. How hard it is to be a middle-class white man. I don't know. It's real hard to be a white man in today's society.
He's being silenced, and with his giant platform.
Yeah.
Silent. The mainstream media don't want you to see this, despite being a
Like
multi-billion.
you are the mainstream media.
Yep. Talking about the Twitter mob. Yeah, they're just gonna get you
Yeah.
because it's only the liberals on Twitter. There's no conservatives at all.
Yeah, that's the reason why I
Cue
go through
eye
and block
roll.
like 80 people a day. Block and report.
But because of the silencing, this can't quite create as much resonance as it would like. Oh my god, we are actually silencing it. That makes me so happy. It's working.
Mute
God, I
button,
wish
mute
that worked
button,
in
mute
real
button.
world.
cancel culture works.
Deplatforming works.
We are team cancel culture.
Oh no!
If there's another round, I literally know what my next move
So going. What
This
Prime
is the
going
future
to do-
liberals want attack.
Ooh,
Oh,
okay, that's actually really good. So what I was going to do is basically just going to make him roll the -1, and because of that, that takes him down from a 7 to a 6. So he misses, and his incoherent babbling just confuses and hurts himself.
yup.
Yes.
Created so
It
much
hurts
like
himself in his
confusion.
confusion.
It's trying to stir up such like. It's trying to just stir up like hatred and anger that it just starts turning
The
on
mouths
itself.
start
You see
yelling
the
at each other.
That is exactly it.
Yes.
Two
They
mouths
just start
yelling at
arguing
each
back
other
and forth.
because they don't realize they're arguing over the same thing anymore.
Oh, this is so satisfying.
Oh.
You know, one is
Oh.
like one mouth is arguing about how we need more money for policing, and the other is saying, but we need lower taxes. They don't realize that the two can't exist.
Oh.
So giant gibbering Jameson Prime will take 1 harm from their own attack because of your interference with it. That is wonderful. That is perfect. I'm very happy with our deep metaphors.
Yeah, I
Rissa-
listen to Knowledge Fight and get angry occasionally, so this is very therapeutic. Knowledge Fight is this podcast of two guys, one who listens to Alex Jones and explains it to his friend who
God.
does not. Both of them hate him. So it's just a lot of yelling and making fun of Alex Jones.
It's a good day,
I mean,
really.
Isn't that every day?
I mean,
So Rissix and Xylene, you both have a move you can make.
okay. I would like to try and heal Magnetobeans, who I
Mhm.
think has 2 damage now.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, did that block all the damage or just the damage to Rissix?
That blocked all of them because you.
Oh, all of
they
it?
were
Oh.
non-selected
Yeah.
force, so you interfered and
I'm
blocked
good.
everybody.
I mean, then I have 1, but
I
Fine
can
for
roll magic and I might be able to do 2 things at once. Let's see. 7, 8, 9.
9 is doing.
Don't you have a
one.
+1 for your mastery, or is that just me? Or me and Xylene that does?
I have
Uh,
+2.
But then you had like a special +1. You gave us +1.
Oh yeah. You and okay, actually Xylene is not locked for me. I need to fix that. But yeah, Siri definitely gets a +1 for magic.
Got it.
Wait, mastery
Okay.
is your best stat, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Doesn't. Oh, that's Lynx. I'm getting confused. Like, yeah, no. Does that say, don't you inherently get a +1 because it's your best? But no, that's Lynx.
Okay, so yeah, for just 1 effect, heal 1 harm for Siri Magnetobeans. And again, just kind of pulling the light and seatbelt momming.
It's such a good mental image. Especially because it's Magneto right now. You're like, Magneto, get behind me.
Get behind me, my small child. As this like relatively short anime gargoyle.
That makes it so much better.
Oh, I love it so much.
Oh, because as well, this is 90s like cartoon Magneto. So he's ripped. Like
Mhm.
anyone remembers how defined the muscles
Yeah.
were.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh. It just makes me chuckle. I'm happy. Okay, so
Silver
we'll-
Fox,
we'll
is that
take-
what we call them?
Silver Fox. I believe I've heard Zaddy.
Oh.
Oh,
Zaddy?
Yeah,
huh.
like Daddy, but more so. I want to say. Let me check the internets to see, because I know I've heard it used in reference to Jeff Goldblum.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I do see that.
Yes. While a daddy is an attractive older man, a zaddy is a man with swag who is attractive and also fashionable. Look, I say
Magneto
that
as
magenta
fuck.
capes are.
I mean, see, when I hear Silver Fox, my mind that feels very, very straight to me. I don't know why. I think it's because that always was attributed to like George Clooney and stuff. It's like that's a
See,
straight
I've always
woman.
heard it in reference to Anderson Cooper.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm going through my mind. It's like
we are like seeing our tastes of or really.
because I'm just going through my mind. I'm
debating.
like, he's not that old, is he?
It's the
I
white
don't
hair.
think it's that old. It's white hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the silver
Which is-
represents like the gray and everything. Yeah.
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 I mean,
Which, by the way, I like to imagine that we have paused the fight to talk about.
Just like go back. Hold up, time out.
Time out. Ian McKellen.
Oh, Ian McKellen.
oh, such a good person. Okay. So that leaves Xylene still to do something this round, correct?
Yeah. I'm going to grab the boom mic and try to whack the giant gibbering Jameson across the head? Top part? I don't know. Where a head should be.
Okay, yeah. So please, you know what? This is I'm trying to. There is a metaphor here for taking down right-wing media with its own platform, but I don't want to figure it out. It's destroying itself with it by spouting its own nonsense, I guess.
Hit it with the microphone or camera.
Yeah, that's what I'm taking the boom mic.
Oh, then
And
that's
whack
perfect
it.
right there.
And I am obviously going to strike with intent. And I got a 6 plus 2. So 8.
That is strike with intent. Yes, you can do that. You deal harm, and you may choose one.
I'm going to choose to deal great harm.
Okay, yeah. So you're gonna use this person's platform to destroy themselves. You're gonna take words they said and make them accountable to them, thus canceling them.
Yep.
I'm picturing, you know how 2 equal sound waves will cancel each other out? I'm picturing like that, but like magically.
I like that. I very much like that. As the boom mic swings, you know what? I think we do need to get a very anime like cut screen, so it slashes and the boom mic just slaps into the side of this thing, and it will kind of like it'll like
Literally,
separate
it
apart.
says boom on the interrobang.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
You know what? As well is because it has just dawned on me that this giant gibbering Jameson is not too dissimilar from like the symbiote with how I've described it.
I was
Oh,
hoping
no,
you would
it's
come to
not.
that conclusion.
So,
Sal.
Yes.
ooh,
Oh.
wasn't even on my brain.
Yeah.
I started thinking it a bit ago and was like, but it's not really like Venom, is it? But it's
I mean-
Spider-Man
But,
verse.
yeah.
Sure
So-
could be.
the giant gibbering Jameson is going to go splatter a little bit, and some of that is going to wrap itself around the boom mic, and that looks like it's coming towards you. And another bit of it flies over to the side and hits vaguely central as Spider-Man.
Oh no.
He's
Uh-oh.
been indoctrinated by the right-wing media.
Oh no.
And as it does this, you one of the mouths spouts something about take the red pill,
Oh.
Oh no!
and you see
Tobey Maguire, no!
vaguely sensualist Spider-Man is stuck to a wall and going, you know what? I don't agree with everything they say,
But they have some
they
good
have
points.
some valid points.
Oh no!
No. Spider-Man, no.
Oh,
What is
Spider-Man,
wrong with you,
why?
kid?
And
It
with
hurts.
that, we have edgy 90s black suit
We
We have
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 3.
Mm,
Oh no!
Tom Holland would never.
No!
Um,
God, I love this game.
So, a new enemy appears, as with a newfound strength of ignorance, I suppose.
Oh
Spider-Man will break free of being stuck to the wall, and you know what? Who is their primary target? Do we believe?
Pretty
Tobeans.
sure it's Tobeans.
Yeah.
Why would it not
Uh,
be?
You know what? That. Okay. So what? I'm just trying to think, because obviously Magneto will have done, will have been reported to have done many nefarious acts at this point in history. So I believe Black Suit Spider-Man is probably going to make a reference to that and be like, you're trying to make out you're some saint, and here's when you said a horrible thing, or here's where you did a horrible thing, because that is the same as having a cohesive argument, just calling the other person bad as well. That's the same as a as having a reasonable point to make, right?
This is going to go so well against a literal Holocaust survivor.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, angry Magneto beans.
So that we are going to get strike with intent. That, oh dear, is a 10. So that is going to be. How do we do with this?
I would like to interfere.
Please try and interfere. I would be very
Okay.
happy with that.
Rissix is going to step forward and shout, "Your mother would be ashamed of you!" And
Oh, mic drop.
yeah, and let's see, interfere. Okay, yeah, and yeah, just step in front. Your mother would be ashamed of you.
Okay, so roll with dark, please.
Roll with darks. I think that's a 0. Oh no, I got a 6.
Don't forget
no.
that you have a special thing that I gave you earlier.
You do.
World link.
Nice.
Okay, what happens if I spend a link again?
Um,
I
Oh no,
have
the
to-
special link that I gave you, it's the world is connected one.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. The world link is
so
like
it's an
an
automatic
inspo-
10 plus, but you'll miss your next one.
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
and
I think we'll-
I spend that link, right?
Yep.
Yes, I believe so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that world link.
Yeah. So, swoon, world link gone, instant 10. So your mother would be ashamed of yourself. Okay. I think at this moment. See, because I had planned for because when you said you rolled bad, I was like, ooh, perfect success. They're gonna have Spider-Man, like edgy Spider-Man. Like,
My
oh no,
mom's
my mother's dead. But I don't know if that. Okay. Ooh. Big brain idea. With that, the giant Gibbering Jameson symbiote will kind of pull back and kind of form like a literal devil on Peter Parker's shoulder, and be like, like whispering, but think about all the bad things you've had to deal with. And they're trying to make it seem like you don't have problems too. while Spider-Man's like, no, that's not fair. Like, Magneto has literally like went through a Holocaust. I don't think it's really fair to equivalate. No, remember that time you got picked on for being a nerd? Gamers, rise up!
Oh no.
Oh.
And Spider-Man's like, I think that's a bit far, dude. I don't think these are the same class. Like, we are the oppressed. And so Spider-Man is now having to like have this confrontation and vaguely consider growing as a human being after being confronted with a very obvious yeah. I'm very happy this is the direction we've gone today.
Can I do a deep dive?
Oh, please do.
Have an idea. It's a 9, which is all I need. I need you to ask me one question.
Okay. Psychic Link, Capjack. We've got this right every time thus far. So. This is really serious. I just felt like this. Okay. Now, I don't know if you're going to go the direction you think you might go, but this could change everything. What here is not as it seems?
Ooh, okay. Okay.
Swear to God, if you say that's Ben Riley. You know what? Let's just add another mess in. Let's make it a Clone Saga.
It's like you were almost reading my mind. So what here is not as it seems? Which Peter Parker is that?
Oh.
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 Okay, now we need to decide how deep in onto comic book lore are we going.
Spider-Verse! What?
I mean, yeah, it's the Spider-Verse, but my brain was going, could this be the era where Peter Parker was actually Otto Octavius in Peter Parker's body? Because that was a thing.
Yo!
That was a thing.
That was a thing.
That
I
was
don't hate
absolutely a thing.
this. Yeah, alright.
I actually don't hate it either.
See, this is the ludicrous thing about comics. There's so many options. You know, the obvious, that's actually Ben Riley, or, you know, one of the other 12 flipping clones that got names. You know, this is one of the Spider-Verse options. Is it also Octavius? Like,
So then there's the what here is not as it seems. Who's under the mask? How's that?
okay. You know what? Since I asked you the question, I believe you get to answer that. You get to tell us who is under the mask here.
So in the whole fight, they're like having this devil conversation and just going back and forth, and the mask gets torn off. And it's Osborn.
What did you...
Junior.
Oh, that's really good.
Does this mean we get to punch James Franco? Or Dane DeHaan? I mean, either way, I'm good.
Oh my God! You know what? I totally just realized he is also 100%. You know, the discarded playback.
Yes! He basically is.
Yeah?
I should have been the special one, not you. Why?
Why?
So he stole the spider suit. Which explains why there's no spider sense going on.
does.
but super
It-
strength because, goblin strength.
Hmm. Also, this is not the version with the bio web shooters. This is still,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
This is so ludicrous. But you know what? This is exactly what I believe this game was specifically designed for. Just how many references can we make before someone tries to sue us for copyright claim? We'll be fine. If anybody asks, this is Spoderman.
Spooter.
Oh, Spoderman. That's very different.
Okay, so Osborne Jr. is revealed, and just out of curiosity, is all of this still being filmed? Like, has a camera been capturing everything that's been going on? And just...
I feel like it has. I
The only
feel like
thing
it
that's been
has.
Oh,
touched
that's
is
right,
the
because
sound
Magneto
boom.
totally set the stage for this early.
Yeah. The only thing that's been touched is the boom mic, so there was a little bit of a whine, but otherwise, it's.
Yeah, no, it's been like oh yeah, no, the cameras. Oh yep. Oh boy.
Cameras have been rolling this whole time, just revealing that J. Jonah Jameson is actually a horrible monster, and Osborn of Oscorp, is also a horrible monster who is pretending to be Spider-Man,
Or is Spider-Man? We don't
or
know.
has been Spider-Man
Yeah.
the whole time.
We're on live gummy phone.
Oh wow, this is good. Okay, so Rissix interfered, did a deep dive. Xylene, I believe you have a move.
I think. I'm trying to think because the round thing. Oh no, I guess it is. Yeah. Okay.
And then two femme fatales.
I'm going to. Okay, so one of the mouth things is kind of crawling up the boom mic.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to attack again, sort of just jamming it further in. Just jam the boom mic in. Which I got. Oh shit. Okay, I got a 12.
Okay.
Hey
That
now.
was really good.
Yeah.
I need to check what happened when you roll a 12.
Well, it was a 6 to 4, and then I don't think it actually. There's
Okay,
not
it's
like
not
a
double
yeah.
straight.
No, yeah, because I've got the 2 in dark. So I actually, because I have drive form, I can choose from both. So I choose 2. So I'm gonna. You know what? I'm actually going to deal great harm.
Mm-hmm.
Jamming the boom mic in. And I think I'm actually going to try to take a little bit of control of the situation. So basically, I'm going to drive the boom mic in, and since this is like gelatinous, slimy grossness, sort of just drive it straight through and try to pin him to prevent him from moving.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. No. I really like that. You're taking, basically just taking all of this and using momentum. You're gonna use a boom mic and pin him to like the floor or the wall. Preference.
The wall.
Yeah. Pin to the wall. So it's just this glob, and you see the glob is kind of like it's trying to like do things, but it can't because part of it's still stuck to the floor from Rissix, part of it's silenced from earlier, and it's kind of like stretched and pinned, and it can't move too much. So the only thing it really has left are the juniors still kind of blah around a little bit.
Is the boom mic still like working to kind of create that sound? Because if the mouths are talking and there's sound coming and I feel like there'd be that weird disruption going on.
That most definitely is. So actually, that's much smarter than the idea I had. I like that. I like that the boom mic is creating a weird sonic interference. So when they try and talk, it just doesn't do anything. Like the sound comes out and there's mean, it's not the most comfortable thing in the world, but there's a little bit of feedback from a mic because they're too close to the mic. So wherever they try and make sound, there's just a. So you don't have to listen to their inane awfulness. It's still a not pleasant sound, but it is somehow much more tolerable than the nonsense that this thing is spouting.
I'd rather hear that than, yeah.
We would all rather hear feedback. Oh, that's good. Okay, so let's let the ladies take charge. So, Mystique. Yeah, Mystique is just gonna try and shoot the juniors, and she does. So Mystique is gonna shoot, deal great harm. One of the juniors is gone. Demona. Wow, all of these are just rolling 10s. Demona will just grab one of the juniors. And I think she'll take that junior and she'll like stick it back in the main, like one of the open mouths, and just sticks the junior in the open mouth. Like, stop it. And okay. So cast magic. Yep. Okay. So Scarlet Witch, she is going to cast magic, and first of all, there's going to be no unintended consequences because that is a big deal for Scarlet Witch. And then I think, Ooh. Sorry, my brain is making many options, and you know what? I think this should be a group decision. Scarlet Witch rolled a 10 with the magic. The only one I know that she would probably do is no unintended consequences, because that's a big deal. What else do we think Scarlet Witch is going to do here? Because this, I think, would be almost bringing the whole thing to a close, or at least putting it in a position to close off this confrontation.
Why am I drawing a blank?
Run it by me one more time.
So, what do we think, as a collective, Scarlet Witch could do to, if not outright end this confrontation, bring it to a position where it could be ended in a couple of actions?
For an outright ending, just vanish the floor for a proper deplatforming.
Ooh, nice.
I dig
I like
it.
that. Okay, you know what? I think that's it. I think bypass defenses, no unintended consequences, and yeah, let's hit more than one entity, because that'll hit the Jameson, well, that'll hit the juniors and the prime, and the floor vanishes, and they just deplatform. And the unintended consequences which have been avoided is where the floor has fallen leaves. It's really quite amusing. Like half of the room has just vanished, but you're still all stood on perfectly solid floor. What is happening to Osborne Jr. currently undergoing some form of identity crisis? Talking to, although that Jameson would be gone, so I guess he's just there. Are we deplatforming Osborne as well, or are we going to try and give him a redemption arc?
Is it being torn out of him as it falls?
Yes.
I mean, that would that be an unintended consequence positively? No, that's not a consequence, that's a benefit. So yeah.
I suppose the unintended would be taking him and making Osborne fall with the... Okay, yeah. I like that. So, as part of the no unintended consequences, Osborne gets to stay, so can be redeemed. You know what? It's not really a plot twist, but in my mind, I'm going to say that Oscorp is one of the big funders for Daily Bugle. So now that Jameson is gone, Osborne can take over and start running things safely here. Well,
interesting.
Less terribly.
Okay.
Has now seen that actually, you know what? Jameson was bad. Maybe these people aren't so bad. Maybe I can do something. You know, I had to confront this. I had to be made aware that whilst, yes, I may have issues and problems and difficulties in my life, they are not the equivalent of other people's, and I should not see them as such. Whilst my problems are real, I should still recognize the benefits I would have in life that other people do not, based on this list of important things that people choose to just ignore when they see fit. There we go.
So Osborne makes that giant, like, speech in front of the cameras?
Oh, 100%.
Nice!
Like that very long, drawn-out speech.
Yeah.
That, you know, it seems a little out of nowhere, but, you know, we just changed destiny with magic powers, so I feel that's appropriate. And with that, because obviously this has all been broadcast, the filmed live, and so, you know what? The wall has disappeared, and the floor has disappeared, so you can see like a giant Jumbotron screen on another skyscraper nearby. So you're seeing that happen, and then that will immediately cut over to the Trask Xanatos merger, where you see a bunch of destroyed Sentinel robots on the floor. Trask and Xanatos in handcuffs, and Goliath and a few of the other mutants like shaking hands with who are they? You know, just shaking hands with. I can't remember her name. I'm a terrible human being.
Detective Maza?
Oh, yes, thank you. That name just does not stick in my brain. As Maza showed up, they got it sorted. They caught them out on some, I don't know, just human rights issues, I guess. That sounds like something they'd be caught for. And yeah, and the news reporter is going on about, you know, this looks like a positive first step in, you know, improving communications and relations between mutants and gargoyles, as we've revealed that this entire operation was basically a way to plan genocide, which apparently is not a good thing. So, more at 11.
Oh god, now I'm just thinking of that. Genocide, it's actually bad? More at 11.
You know what? I think that is the final line of that news broadcast. All right. With that, do we want to take a quick 5-minute break before we come back and we can wrap up our interactions here in New York and
Sounds good to
see
me.
what is ahead of us? So, yeah, a quick 5-minute break so we can grab drinks and do whatever else people need to do, and we will see you real soon. Thanks for sticking around. And we are back. Thank you for sticking around. We are we're gonna do our little wrap up scenes here in New York. Is there anything else I need to say there? No, I don't think so. Okay. Yeah, no, cool. Wrap up scenes. So, everything has been resolved.
No unintended consequences whatsoever.
No.
Well, that's exactly what Scarlet Witch rolled. No unintended consequences. It's fine. Right?
That's true.
So, you have done your job. You defeated the darkness, or at least a source of the darkness here. And so you get a little check mark. You get a success. Are there any specific scenes or like? How do you, as a group, how do we imagine things go from this point? Because you just stood in the Daily Bugle. I assume you go and meet up with everybody and plan to leave, or you just go, all right, peace, and just disappear.
Would we want to go back to the apartment? Say goodbye?
They
Do
did
we
have
want to just shuffle?
snacks.
They did have snacks, and I like
And-
snacks.
Snacks at home. but
I
ours
get
are-
hungry after a fight.
Oh, we do have snacks.
We do
at
have
home, too.
I love that this is the conversation in character as well.
But
We
that's
could just
other
sort of
people's
have-
snacks.
We don't have large buff gargoyle man at home.
No.
No. Snacks here. Snacks here.
Snacks. All right, snacks. 2 snacks. Could we maybe walk though? Cause heights. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, okay. So, I have 2 options. I'm not sure which is funnier. Do you hail a cab or take the subway?
Subway.
I want
God,
Subway. Subway.
Just because I love the image. So Scarlet Witch, Demona, Mystique, Magneto Beans, Resistance Eileen, just kind of sat in a subway car, and nobody even acknowledges or thinks it's weird. But no, this is just a Tuesday, mate.
It's New
Yeah.
York in the 90s. It's
Yeah. Stranger
We're
things
not the
happen
weird ones.
on New York subways.
Oh, I just love that image, because it, like, okay, I have never been to New York, but obviously we have the London Underground. It's essentially the same thing, and just the amount of things that you just look. If you stop and pause for like 2 seconds, you go, "Why do we never acknowledge this?" I get that, the whole point is, we're all in our little bubble. We've got to go to work. We've got to go home. We've got to do. Can we please acknowledge how strange this is? Someone, okay. So, get the subway. Just nothing eventful happens on the subway, and you'll arrive back. You can walk to the apartment, take the elevator, which is yet again another amusing scene. Just all in.
We're all crowded in the elevator.
Yeah, just
girl from Ipanema playing.
Oh wait, are we going to the Xanatos building? Because they did take the castle back.
You did.
Oh,
So yes.
yeah.
Okay. Oh, actually, that's a really nice thing. So you get to walk into this very lush, nice-looking building, which I then find to be super amusing. It's got, it's very 90s. So of course, there's a overly ostentatious fountain. There's gold and I just love the image of in the fountain, I forgot his name. Toad works, but I was trying to remember the little green gargoyle's name. Lexington. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Toad and Lexington, they're just both hanging out in this fountain. Just hands behind head, just swimming around in it.
Sipping a mimosa.
Mm-hmm. They're on
Yeah.
the inner tubes with the drink and the umbrella.
Lazy
Oh, yeah.
River.
Yes.
It's just slowly circling. I love it.
you know what? This actually makes for a really, essentially like a really cool like after party because you're like, kidding.
Party at Xanatos' house.
Not anymore. Hey, this episode, you know.
It's like the total like the 80s. We have saved the ski center.
Oh my god! Not only have we saved the community center from the corporation who want to knock it down and make a parking lot, we have inherited the.
Yeah, look, the 80s didn't end until 1993. This is completely plausible still.
I hate how accurate that sentence is. I'm also just loving Cat. Hello, Kitty.
Yes.
Oh.
There's currently 2 screen cats. There were 3, but one aggressively licked itself and then jumped away.
Oh, I love animals.
Hi,
They
squirrel.
make me happy. So yeah, you know what? Vignettes. What are the scenes happening at this party? Siri.
Yes.
What are you doing during this? What does this after party look like?
I'm trying to decide if Siri is going to stay Magnetobians the whole time, or if Siri's going to Siri it up and be like, haha, it was me, Dio.
Wait, can we fit a JoJo's into...
Look, you can fit a JoJo's reference in anything if you try hard enough.
Well, I'm just going through my mind. Okay,
Oh,
is there any which way I could?
Um,
There might be a way I can find I can make that work. There
Let's
will be options.
Hmm.
Because I'm just trying to think. Which company made the Jump Stars games?
Oh.
'Cause I think Capcom.
And if so,
I think.
we will look this up.
Yep.
There's an
Risa,
internet for
you-
that.
Yes, Capcom has done a couple of JoJo's games.
Hell yes. Okay.
And as we all know, Capcom and Marvel are tied together. So okay, at some point, Siri can actually just become Dio.
Naked Aztec vampires when?
Oh,
I was gonna-
yeah.
I was gonna say
Killer
we could,
man.
we could tie it into part 6, which obviously has just been announced
Ooh.
and gonna be released.
Yes.
Because part 6 is probably one of the best parts, but mostly because of how underrated it is.
I don't know anything about it, so I'm excited.
I'm very excited.
Alright, so do you know any of the premise for part 6?
Nothing.
Okay,
So-
it's
I heard it
A
said
women-
something about water.
women's prison plus what is it? The priest so ashamed of being gay that he ends the universe.
I mean, Dio is like confirmed to be bisexual as we hang
Yeah.
out with his boyfriend.
Look, everybody in JoJo's is queer. It's just science.
Yup. You don't draw
Yeah.
Tom a Finland ass shit like that and be straight. I'm just saying.
See,
Cat agrees.
okay, so before I try and bring focus back to the game, I just need to establish like JoJo's hits so many of my specific queer interests with, you know, because it's not even like queer, it's just like my interest that I happen to be queer for. So, you know, the fashion, you know, so many of the like it's like so many Vogue references, and then on top all the music references, which is all music I tend to know because I'm a big music. It's like just all of these things. It's like, yes, inject it into my veins. All of it. Okay. So we will find ways to make more JoJo's references. But that is a job for another time. We're going to focus on references we can make here. So Siri, now you were going to try and figure out what your vignette was going to be for this post J. Jonah Jameson gibbering giant mouther scene.
No, Siri's gonna stay Magnetobians for a while.
Mm-hmm.
let's see. I'm thinking Magnetobeans is just going to be, yeah, no, gathering the adoration of everyone like a cat that just wants all the attention. Because... and food.
I like that.
Definitely.
I very much like that. Because you would be getting lots of admiration here. It's actually quite amusing because inadvertently, the thing that Xavier has been striving for, coexistence, you have actually, Magnetobeans has theoretically actually started the roots to coexisting.
Suck it, Charles!
In a TV interview, please tell me that's what Magnetobeans says.
That was
Hey,
the last thing
Charles.
that was said before we left the
As
studio.
we leave the studio.
Suck it, Charles!
Someone had to do your job. Mic drop, peas.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, Rissix, what is your vignette after party scene?
Rissix is trying gamely, but very probably awkwardly and unsuccessfully to hit on Goliath, Demona, Mystique. Just
Making the
There's-
best choices.
yeah, just like, plate of snacks sliding up like I eat food.
For a moment there, I thought you were referring to Goliath, Demona, Mystique as the snacks, because they are a plate.
Both? We can have both?
It's only after you say
God, wouldn't that be amazing?
It's like striking out with one, moving on to the next. Immediately losing all power of speech. Just like
Okay.
bread.
Would you like to try and roll something here to see if
Oh yes.
you can be successful in either vaguely romancing or beginning a romance with one or potentially more than one, and you can have the polyamorous 90s love fest you always dreamed of.
Okay, let's see. What can I roll?
Heart?
Either
Not
heart
hunted.
or light, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already have a heart link with Goliath, a dark link with Demona, and a mastery link with Mystique.
Okay.
But it's just roll to see if you successfully flirt.
Yeah, I mean, this can just be like, if you just roll heart, this isn't like,
Okay.
we'll just give an arbitrary number to see the level of
Ooh.
success.
10 minus 1 is 9.
Okay. 9 is really good flirtations, I believe. I think the awkwardness is viewed as endearing. So, I believe with that, the dark link with Demona, you can change that now
Yeah.
to a link of your choice.
I'm going to change that to heart.
There you go. So you can get heart. And you know what? Yeah. With the two heart links you have, so Goliath and Demona, you can progress them for you can now add in a level of romanceability. Like, if this was like a dating sim, you've unlocked like tier 1 and you can now start like going on dates with both of them, and they're both
You've given
kind
them
of
the
okay.
flowers in Stardew Valley.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, how do you envision that scene going down? How does that go in your mind?
Okay, well, let's start with the very awkward, like, I hear food is good. Look, I'm not going to be here for long, and I think maybe we should make the most of our time together. I'm just saying, you're so awesome at what you do, and I don't know. I'm bad at flirting in real life.
Okay, I think, because as well, this is Demona and Goliath reconnecting fully as well. So this kind of works. It's like a little polyamorous trio of like reuniting and the new person. And it's like, oh, this new person brought us together. Then we also both really like this new person, and maybe we can all hold hands and go and look out from the top of our home that we've not been to in approximately 300 years, and we'll just stand and we'll, you can stand and you can just watch the night and you can see the first little light of sunrise, and then we'll cut the camera away and let people imagine where the rest of that scene went. I like that.
I like that too.
Alrighty, so then Xylene, what is your destruction of...
Considering that this was Xanatos' building, I kind of feel like there'd be like an arcade room.
Oh, hell yeah.
So I feel like maybe I'm trying to think of some of the X-Men that might. I know like
Jubilee. Jubilee for sure.
Yeah, and maybe Brooklyn, Lexington, Broadway are just like, hey, you've got to check this out, sort of a thing, and will show me said arcade games. And I'm going to just gravitate to them. Probably things like Street Fighter. Those were always fun.
Okay, so in my mind, who remembers both the SNES / the Sega Mega Drive X-Men game?
Yes.
Yes! I got to play that a few years back when I was still living in Athens. It was great.
So, like, I mean, I have the emulator, so I play it.
Yeah, I played it on an emulator and was very bad at it.
But it's a good game. I just like the mental image of all of you playing that game together, and it's fun. It's enjoyable.
Video game tournament.
Yes.
I still think they're gummy phones, specifically for these game things. But, tournament.
I mean, okay, so if we use Kingdom Hearts 3...
They had gummy phone games.
There are gummy phone games, so I believe this would unlock a gummy phone game for you, specifically just...
Ooh.
Which, they're kind of like the Game & Watch things. So I like the idea that there's like a Game & Watch, like X-Men Gargoyle Fighter type thing.
Yes!
You can now put that whenever you so wish. I like
Y'all
that.
will never be able to get the gummy phone away from me now.
Okay, so there are all the various different scenes that are going on. I believe when the sun begins to rise and the gargoyles all go, oh, we need to go take dramatic poses. I believe that is the moment where you would make your leave. Does anybody have any parting words they would like to say?
It's been fun, but gotta go fight evil in other worlds. I'll see you around.
I like that. Xylene, Ziri, do you have anything you would like to add? Or are we leaving?
This was a lot of fun. Definitely want to come and check out more of these things and that TV, as you say. So, yeah. Do good things. Alright? Bye!
Please tell me Xylene is just stealing
each other.
You know what, Xylene? Xanatos has hundreds of TVs. Please tell me you're stealing one.
The back of my, hoodie is just kind of really bulky as I shuffle my way out.
Some big 90s, block, square, cube TV. Okay, so I like that. And, the final... Well, actually, does Siri have anything they would like to do?
Yep.
Let us know.
So the doors appeared. We're chilling there. And just gonna walk over to the door, turn, do the anime pose and go nya and disappear through the door.
Oh,
That's
amazing.
perfect. Okay. So the final scene, as you step through the door, as the sun is rising behind, Goliath and Demona, they have taken their pose. They're sharing a podium together, and they're going to be slightly huddled, and they're both going to be holding out a hand that's going to be holding Rissix's hand. As they turn to stone as you step through the door. So the two of them are in like a little half hug, and their hands extended, and it's a very sweet, lovely scene as Lauren gets to fulfill one of her 90s fantasies.
I love this game.
This
So
this is
It's great.
This is everything I wanted it to be, and so much more. With that, we travel through the darkness, and we arrive back at Holo Bastion. We arrive back at our studio apartment complex type setup. Okay, I'm a monster of a human being. What's the name of our adorable goo pet?
Oh, I wrote it down.
Oh wait, no, I have a link with them, don't I?
Pudding.
Yeah.
Pudding, yeah.
Pudding. Ugh. And what?
So, you return to to find Pudding splayed out on the kitchen counter. The cupboards have been stripped bare, just with like a little bloated stomach, and just going.
I'm gonna go up to Pudding and be like, "Oh, does baby have a tummy ache?"
I am so glad we had snacks before leaving. All of our
I would
food.
like to lock my dark link with Pudding.
That is a grievous offense. That is enough to unlock like 7 dark links. He ate my
I
snacks.
don't actually know how to lock links. It just talks about them.
Okay,
I think
so
you just say it's locked.
yeah, like you don't need to do anything specific with it. It's just like it's locked in place. What that means is essentially when it's locked, when you spend that link, it doesn't disappear. It means you can reactivate it.
Yeah.
But it becomes inactive until you roll a plus 10 of that type. So it's basically that I have this link and it doesn't go away. I mean, obviously, when you spend a link, it's not like that's it. You
Yeah.
forgot they exist. But you know, it means that you can like reuse the same link if you roll really well. Like I'm sure there's some
Okay.
metagaming strategy. You know, where you just find your best stats and you lock 2 links, and then like you keep spending them to gain experience. Like there's probably some really clever
I don't
person.
think you can use those to gain experience.
And well, you
At
can
least I
spend 2
wouldn't, but
links to
ew.
mark 1 experience.
Oh, I don't like that at all. Ugh.
Oh, so you can
Like-
just like spit? Huh.
Like,
No. Yeah, I don't
I mean,
like that.
it's not super easy to do because when you spend a locked link, it's inactive until you roll a 10 plus of that thing. So if it's a dark link, until you roll 10 plus on dark, that link is inactive. So it's not like you can just lock and then spend and then spend and then spend and then spend. But I'm sure there would be a very clever way if you set yourself up where you almost always roll a 10. It would take some like 3.5 era of D&D number balancing shenanigans to figure out how to do that. Which, you know, let's face it, we are not playing this game to juggle numbers and be clever. We're playing this game so we can romance gargoyles.
And have
Can I
all
lock
the
my
nostalgia.
links with Goliath and Demona?
You most certainly can.
I mean, honestly, I definitely need to lock links with Xylene and Rissix.
Yeah, I need to
Yeah,
lock.
I need to lock with the.
Yeah, it's like, ooh.
Okay. So
Eh,
Then
fair.
gonna spend 2 links, my J. Jonah Jameson and my Broadway.
yeah, I was
Perfect
just going to
experience
ask
point.
if people have links and things they want to spend and mark experience and all that shenanigan, right?
Yeah.
Just gonna pick up a move from another book real quick.
Oh,
I think I'm gonna spend Broadway and Mystique
mhm.
for an experience.
Yeah, locked links we just do though, right? Like we can just be like, yeah, it's locked now.
You just go, that's locked, so I can spend it
Okay.
and get it back. Yada 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 yada. So, okay, so Siri has spent 2 marked experience, and that is enough to level up. Risix is spending 2 marking experience. Eileen, are you spending any links and marking experience for anything, or are you happy where you are?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and spend 2. I think I'll do. Let's do Hudson and Mystique.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So get those little bits and bobs sorted. Just a little bit of bookkeeping, because that is absolutely fine. Because we can say that's the kind of
Downtime stuff.
Time we can get some rest, and all of these things happen. And unless there's anything specific that people would like to do before we say you go to sleep and can wake up and start the next morning, we can do that. I'm very happy with Pudding having devoured everything in the cupboards. That makes me smile.
I think the only thing I might consider doing before crashing for the night is, I'm assuming we have some kind of like communal kitchen or something where we can, or like communal commissary where we can restock food.
In the castle, no.
No? Okay.
You would have to go and beg, borrow, or steal from somebody else if you wanted more food for tonight.
Nope, too much effort.
Tomorrow you would have to head into town to do food supply. Almost like I planned an interlude.
Yes.
Look at that. But someone make a note. Bardic made a plan. That never happens.
Yeah, then I'll just crash for the night.
Yep. Crash. Siri, is there anything you would like to do, or you happy to just crash?
Full of hatred. Angry sleep. So angry. I just ate, but now my food bowl is empty.
You okay, bud?
Starving. Oh, have not eaten in 30 seconds.
And Risix, is there anything you would like to do, or are you happy to just go and crash?
Having seen Siri flop down, I'm just gonna pick them up. So I have like Pudding on my shoulder, dramatic Siri in my other arm. Look at Xylene. Everyone good?
Yeah. Oh wait, you know what? There is something I want to do before we go to bed. I have a TV.
What's that gonna do here?
Okay, so I don't know. I at least let them know that I was taking it. They have a bunch, but okay, so I'm assuming we don't have like a way, like electric hookup sort of, do we? I feel like that's a little, I don't think that's a thing.
I think you would probably have to find a Smarty Pants member of the Union to know how this works.
I tried to bring an extension cord through the door.
Ooh, okay.
It was worth a shot.
It was an attempt.
An attempt was made.
This is good. Okay. I need to do a thing, because now I need to create a new member of the Union. So I need to try and.
Don't we have like a science-y, the guy that I stole Pudding from?
There is Sexless, yes, which I still can't believe that is the name we ended up with. Because I didn't realize it till after I said it, but okay, so. Okay, let me see if I can. Yes, okay, there we go. I've created a name. I think that's correct. I think that works. Do you want to interact with them now, or would you want to leave that to the morning?
morning?
You're muted.
Yeah.
You're
Oh,
muted.
sorry. I feel like it'd probably be in the morning, but like I'd like try to start setting it up and then look at the like severed end of the extension cord and just be like, oh.
Oh, okay. So that's
But
a
yeah, I
morning
figure-
job.
Yeah.
Put Siri down in their little cat bed. Put Pudding down on their little bed, and just go back to my room and flop down on my face on my bed, just like.
Giddy schoolgirl happiness. It's the kind of smiles and happiness you get after a very successful first date.
Basically, yeah.
It's really sweet, and that makes my heart happy. Okay, so morning comes around. Obviously, there is no food. There's no breakfast. Also, much to everyone's chagrin, I believe, Pudding has no way of differentiating between what is snack and what is not snack, and also devoured the coffee beans. Pudding is an inhuman monster.
Well, yes.
Oh no. You're like literally.
Aren't we all? So, how does 6 through 9 cope without their morning coffee?
Rissix is going to be like trying to burn off the excess energy in. Okay, did Pudding eat this like last night or like before?
Pudding will have eaten it while you were out doing.
Oh, okay.
Various
So,
things.
yeah, if Pudding was on a caffeine high, I was gonna. But no, just look at the coffee. Look at Pudding. Look at the coffee. Look at Pudding. Sigh. We're gonna need to put in a grocery order, aren't we?
Yeah. Coffee. Need coffee.
Kingdom
Borrow
Hearts
coffee.
DoorDash.
See, I'm trying to decide just how mean I want to be, because either there's absolutely nothing, or is there like half a cup's worth of coffee still left in the pot that's been left since you left the day before, and are you that desperate?
I just stare at the remains of like that little half cup and just be like, is it worth it? No, it's not worth it. I don't need it. Need coffee though. Not that coffee.
Siri is leaving the room.
Is there anybody nearby we can steal groceries from?
Okay, so there's always people you can steal from. There's Sexless, you can go find his room upstairs. There's
Valkyrie.
There was somebody who was like right down the hall. I felt like.
Zalkriv.
Yeah, Zalkrab.
Zalkriv.
Yeah.
There is also, and this would be the person who Xylene is going to go and interact with, whom we'll say that he's somewhere nearby. This person is called Texlab. And Texlab is, while Sexless is kind of like the person in charge, and kind of there's a lot of the like sciencey, Sexless is like the mad scientist, like the magical scientist. Texlab is like the engineer. Texlab does all of that. Texlab has a.
So Reed Richards versus Iron Man.
Pretty much. Now, Texlab is very short, and when I say very short, I mean maybe about 3 foot tall.
Alright.
Has massive, like, thick lensed glasses, so anime thick that you cannot see his eyes through them. Giant mustache that looks like it actually comes from the nose, covers the entirety of the mouth, and is wider than his face. Bald on top, and wild, frizzy, like very classic I do engineering looks. And he is wearing like a lab coat, and he is adorable, and I'm in love with this character. He's just an all-round goofy little guy in the best possible way.
Tiny
So-
grandpa.
Basically.
Oh,
Now.
yes.
Now, I have to make a decision here. Because I have two possible voices. Either I can do an attempt at some bad European, Germanic-esque thing, or we can lean into Grandpa and have, like... for some reason, my old man voice seems to have, like, an almost, like, Texan twang. Like, specifically, like, an East Texan twang.
I need to
I'm
hear
kind
it.
of in favor of old man voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Okay, so the little old man voice is like this.
It's all in the bucket!
Oh, hello, 619. What are you all doing here today? Oh, you coming to visit Texas? What's my name again? Wrote it down. Texas. You coming to Texas Laboratories? You say laboratories is just my bedroom. Hello, how you doing today?
Do you have
Love
coffee?
this so much.
I'm picturing this. I don't know if y'all ever
Just
watched
sad
like
pawing.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force back at like when it was just starting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the commence the jiggling. That's
Oh, Jiggling! Oh, my lord. Oh.
Well, you're done to it and I got coffee. I got 12 different kinds of coffee. Well, one of them's real coffee, the other 11 I made. So you can take a gamble, or you can have regular coffee. If you know, you want to be boring. You want to be a nerd.
Surprise me. I want to ask favor, but coffee, I need it.
Yeah, here you go. I made this. Just help yourself. It's all over. It's somewhere over there. You just push past some of that machinery. It's probably not important, except for parts that are really important. You don't want to damage them. They could explode.
Okay. Coffee. And I'm just going to sort of shamble towards where he pointed. I can't words until I have it.
Okay. Rolling self-control over here. It's cool.
Now, I mean, I assume you've got something special for me. If you come out and test me first thing, you come and get your coffee. Is there anything I can do to help you with, friends?
Yeah, actually. Could I make a light link with?
You most
Excellent.
certainly can.
Thank you!
I love this old man.
I just need to wait for everyone to make links.
That is a 7.
I believe with a 7. I believe you get the link on a 7.
I think it just doesn't trigger. Is that?
Yeah, you just don't get your link move.
Yeah,
so-
which is fine.
You can most certainly get a light link with Texlob.
Sweet. I love this guy already.
I too
So
wish to roll a light link.
Yeah.
Same.
everybody loves the old man.
Well, ooh. I got a 9.
Nice.
9. Light link, move does not trigger. And Ziri, how's yours luck going?
Let's see. +1. I got a 5.
Okay, so
Oh, no.
Mark experience though.
you
Yeah.
do get to mark experience because white is your worst, isn't it?
Yeah, one of the two.
See, this is also another way to min-max this game, make most of your stats your worst stat. If you're bad at everything, you'll always get better, which is actually kind of inspiring now I think about it. I'm gonna make note of that. I'm gonna stick it in my brain. Okay, so link move doesn't trigger, and I am gonna give you a link. I'm gonna pick one. So I think. No, I think you get a heart link with Texlab. Texlab is offering you coffee first thing in the morning. He's here to help. He's just an all-round nice guy, and maybe Siri being exposed to this will help Siri like go. This is what
Can you spell the name?
Texlab. TEXLARB.
So TEXLARB.
Yep.
Sweet.
So yeah, I believe the Heartling is here because Siri can get some introspection and be like, this is what generosity feels like. Do I do something with this? All right, so you're all getting that. You're having coffee. This is really good coffee.
Catnip coffee.
There's definitely something. I don't want to say strange. It's definitely very different in the flavoring. There's like a wonderful undertone of what seems to be like a hazelnut.
Ooh.
This is not just like standard coffee. This is like specialist coffee.
Advanced
someone
coffee.
This is advanced coffee. That someone has lovingly put. Like, and the thing is, it's not like they just put some hazelnut. Like, they have almost like infused the coffee beans themselves.
Remy from Ratatouille is making the coffee.
Little chef.
So, it's almost as if the coffee beans themselves have been infused with different flavorings. So it's not just adding flavor; it's changing the fundamental flavor of coffee. So something only a very clever or very not entirely there person would come up with doing. Which I think sums up this person, both very clever or not entirely there. Which I'm very happy about. Okay, so Xylene, how do you present the television to TextLab?
Thank you so much for the coffee. 1 second, and I'm just gonna kind of run out of the room, and then in a few moments, just like carrying this big TV, kind of covered in a blanket. So it's just this big square box. I have a surprise for you. Set it on the table. Are you ready for this?
I say his eyes widen, but obviously you can't see his eyes through thick glasses, but you see the glasses like move a little bit. As he like puts both hands on the table and pulls himself up onto it, because only 3 foot tall. He's a tiny man. And the best, right?
Does he have a little step ladder?
Yes, that's better.
One. Yeah.
That's so much better than him trying to climb up. You okay, Jess?
Step ladder, what are you doing?
Be happy. So Tex gets his little step ladder, climbs up, and just looks at it, like taps the screen and goes, I see exactly what this is. This is a television doohickamajagadoo. You know. It's kind of like a gummy phone, but bigger and less portable, but also bigger.
Right? I thought it was a giant gummy phone. It's awesome.
That's basically the gist of it. Except you can't really use it to communicate. You can get communications, but only from specific people who are putting out communication. It's a whole thing. What? No, just and that he's just gonna turn it around, get the extension cord, lick the extension cord, licks it, like his whole body just like zaps and hair.
Oh no!
Oh no!
He seems entirely unfazed by it. It's like this is like what he does every morning. He's just
this is his version of coffee. Coffee.
Yeah.
Word.
He goes, "Ooh, yeah, that's got a kick in it right there." Well, so now what we have to do just hops off the table, just dragging the extension cord. Doesn't realize he's dragging a whole TV with him, and gets to a point where the extension cord would go taut. Gets pulled back because he is too small to pull the TV on his own. He stands back up, kind of runs on the spot a little bit to move it, and eventually gets it set up. The TV gets plugged in, and it immediately springs to life. And there's a breaking news bulletin from somewhere, which makes 0 sense as far as you're concerned. But so the standard, and it cuts to who do we want? Okay. Okay, I think this works. Sat at a very standard-looking news desk is a woman with platinum blonde hair. She seems to be wearing a vaguely military outfit. However, it's almost like a military leotard, and with like a slight crown in her hair. And underneath, there's a little bit of writing, and it just says, "You're Action 5 news reporter, Celeste." As look, I need to get Final Fantasy 6 in there somewhere.
Oh my god, yes.
Yes.
Oh,
It.
She seems the most appropriate to be a news reporter to me. I don't know. That makes me happy. As she'll sit there, having some paper, and just goes. You see her kind of like looking off the side and goes, "What do I need? What do I need the paper for? There's nothing on. Oh well, hello, and welcome to Action News 6. Today in Holo Bastion. Do we really need to do this? Nobody will see this. Fine. Okay. Down at the foundry, a strange occurrence has happened as an unidentified object seems to have fallen from the sky. People are advised to go nowhere near it, and sadly this means that all grocery stores are off limits as they are being blockaded due to this unidentified object. Please, whatever you do, do not go to the foundry today. Thank you. Oh, are we done? Thank you. And it will then just cut to, it'll cut to some chocobo racing. That's what it cuts to.
Yeah.
Oh, you got it working. That's awesome. But also, why? Why are the grocery stores closed today? No.
I don't eat food. Bad things will happen. Also, I've never had coffee before. And Siri is just like vibrating.
okay.
Well,
I got 2 ideas. One is we go raid someone else's pantry, or 2, they're gonna send us on a mission anyway, so we eat there.
Yeah.
Well, Tex Level raise his hand and goes, well, just to make a little suggestion, they said it is advised that anybody does not go there, and technically we're nobody. That doesn't apply to us.
That is a very good point.
Disregard
Technically
the
correct.
rules.
Technically correct is the best kind of correct. Let's go.
Food.
What, like food just falling from the sky?
Yeah,
That's not the
we'll do it
weirdest
first
thing
time.
we've dealt with.
Fair.
All right, road trip.
Carry me.
Pick up. Does Eileen have the little cat carrier thing, or do
I feel like that's just like a standard part of either of our wear.
Okay,
It's
I'm
just
wearing
like kind
it
of
right
like
now,
flip a
so-
coin, yeah.
Yeah, I'm wearing it right now. So I pick up Siri, put them in the little baby carrier.
Okay. So with that, we will head out to the castle. This is actually our first time exploring outside of the Holo Bastion castle. So Holo Bastion is a very strange environment because it's like a semi-steampunk castle, like so there's like huge pipes and lots of various colored steam and smoke and things like that. But then as you descend from it, it becomes very almost like classic fantasy medieval aesthetic. So it's like cobbled streets and thatched roof buildings and all of that. And so I personally very much enjoy the aesthetic because all of this is then on top of like a giant magic ice structure, I guess is the only way to describe it. Kingdom Hearts is weird. And so you'll head down, and the bastion is basically just the main area that is where like lots of buildings and businesses are. And this has been warded off, but you know it says no people beyond this line. You're like, well, we're not people. Bye. And you will find when you get there, you will find like a very strangely shaped like metal tube, I guess is the only way to describe it. It's kind of cylindrical. It's like it almost looks like half made of scrap metal, and you can see it has 4 large like thruster engines on the back of it, and this is just there, like planted into the ground. And for us as human being players, it essentially looks like an escape pod from a space shuttle or something. I don't know what your characters would perceive that as.
Gummy ship.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Mini gummy ship.
Who would wish to interact with this thing?
Shall I go
Okay.
poke it?
Okay, but like real careful. I'll be right here in case something goes wrong and you need healing, but be very, very careful. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Go poke.
And I'm going to have my spear just kind of just reappear. You know,
Mhm.
shiny light sparkle, spear appears, and I'm going to flip it backwards so the pommel
Mhm.
is facing out, and I'm going to tiptoe approach it, all careful like, and just poke.
As you go poke, you can hear the pressing of like hydraulics and a bunch of steam just be let out as a large doorway seems to just be pressed inwards and slides as so much steam is erupting. You can't really see or make anything out. Immediately following this, there is a whirring sound. Sounds very mechanical in nature, as if something is grinding and moving into position. Very swiftly followed by essentially a pew, as a single small laser is blasted out. As the smoke clears, you see a very elongated rifle barrel, like a comically long sniper rifle barrel. And holding this is a very tall, very slender-looking robot that has an orangish hue to it. It appears humanoid. It's got like a half triangular head, and it just states, "Observation. Meatbag target seems slightly less meaty than regular meatbag target. Confusion." As yes, this is HK47.
Yay! Oh!
Is it a vending machine?
Don't.
Machine, do you have food?
I'm gonna be in the get ready to cast magic stance.
Response: No, I'm superior to organic life forms and have no requirement for subsistence through nourishment of food. Perhaps meatbags should seek some kind of upgrade.
Meatbags have names, you know.
Oh,
Have we seen? Wait, I'm just thinking. Have we seen?
I don't think we've seen robots yet.
you will have seen robots destroyed by the Brotherhood with the Sentinel Ironclads.
Oh yeah.
You'll have
Right.
seen sort of robots there. So I'm just trying to think. There's no robot Muppets. There's no robots in
No.
our house. So yes, you will have seen and heard of robots in
By
New
way of
York, but
broken
you,
pieces.
Yeah. Oh gosh, it's really hard to think of the starting line for every one of HK's sentences without just repeating them all the time.
Query, observation, assessment,
Yeah. So
crass response.
okay, so when we say meatbags have names, he goes, query, what is meatbag designation?
I'm Xylene. That's Risix. And that's Siri. Pointing everybody out, sort of gesturing.
Secondary query. Why do these meatbags seem less meaty than regular meatbags?
Less meaty? Are you from New York?
Confusion. New York is not on my list of planets.
All right, it's deep dive o'clock.
Please do.
Here we go. That is a 10.
Ooh, okay, so that is 3. Would you like to ask first, or would you like me to ask first?
I'll ask first.
Okay.
Let's go with what here is not as it seems. And you know what was done here recently?
Okay. So, what here is not as it seems. You have a notion of worlds, and you've been to other worlds, but you've never really heard them referred to as planets. That seems like an entirely different thing, almost as if this being and this thing do not fit into the universe as you comprehend it. This is outside of your understanding of how things are connected. So that is not what it seems. And what happened here recently? Looking at HK, the fact that HK is carrying a big weapon, the fact that in some kind of escape pod, the escape pod even looks slightly damaged. It looks as if HK was engaged in some kind of battle, some kind of like big event, and it kind of looks and feels as if HK was not expecting to land anywhere like where you are. This doesn't, like, HK is clearly confused, and this seems very out of place for him. Almost as if almost as if something has gone wrong, and that's why he's ended up here of all places.
I really want to try using Mystic Secrets, but I'm not sure how.
What's your
okay.
question for me, Bardic?
Oh, yeah.
What is my question for you? Okay, my question for you is... I think it's what here could I use to blank, and I believe the blank is what here could I use to help.
Help what or who?
Well, to help HK, they're clearly
Okay.
confused. They don't know where they are, why they are, or how they are.
Robot with an existential crisis.
What here could we use to help? The escape pod.
I
The
mean,
escape pod should have, in theory, like data on where it came from and this, that, and the other that technical people could probably decipher.
and it's almost as if we just got introduced to a new technological person.
Gasp.
Bardic introducing characters with a purpose?
What a
Egad!
wonderful piece of unexpected serendipity. Hmm.
So, yes, Siri is looking at this, and Siri probably has no interest or understanding of what computers and all this sciencey technology stuff is. But you know what? We made a new friend, and that new friend will happily help understand what's going on. Plus, this robot's got a really cool gun, and he's like kind of sarcastic and interested in making amusing quips. I think I'd make a great member of the team.
Angry metal person.
Small fuzzy thing.
Oh. Right. Siri. HK?
My designation. Sorry. Introduction. My designation is HK Assassination Unit 47. I am here to serve the Master.
Ah, that is me. Perfect. I'm a cat. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Last time was
Yeah,
interactive.
Rissix
They
rolls
seem
her
to
eyes.
be more human and less fuzzy and more meaty. But the Master would not lie. Greetings, Master.
That was surprisingly easy. I like that. Does not fit in with a 6 or 9 through 9, but 4, 7. Oh, there's a 7 in there. It works.
Oh my god, I totally just realized. Isn't number 7 the one that's missing from your
Yeah.
voice?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh no, I didn't even mean this to happen. That's wonderful.
Yeah, Rissix's eyes kind of bug out.
Do we take Big Tube back to Xlarb?
Might be a good idea. Maybe. Maybe.
It's kind of big. We might want to bring Xlab here.
Oh,
words.
Rissix.
Yes.
Put the harness on new friend.
Unlatch the baby harness. Walk up to HK. Your master wants me to put this on you.
Gratitude. Thank you for this. It is rather slimming. Believe it suits me, masters. And you attach the harness, to which HK will like his torso will stay where it is, but his head will turn around and the legs will kind of invert, so he doesn't turn around, but his body, like his head turns around. Looks and goes, assessment. It would be quite plausible for me to attach hooks and remove this debris for the masters if they so wish.
That would open the grocery stores back up if we kind of let it
Yeah,
disappear.
worth a shot.
With that,
Let's try that,
will,
Rust Bucket.
HK will fire off a series of small grappling hooks, attach them to the escape pod, and just start walking. And it's clearly a struggle, but HK has no concept of tiredness or exertion. So even if HK is walking in spot, the whole escape pod slowly starts to move. And so HK can just drag this wherever it needs to. It might take a while.
Horrible grinding sound. Amazing.
Oh, the worst grinding sound. Just sparks flying. It's not even nails on a chalkboard. Nails on a chalkboard wish it could sound this horrific. And HK just doesn't even acknowledge anything, just happily, even if it just standing still and like no strain, no anything, just slowly dragging this wherever you so need it to go.
seems like
I'm
it'll
gonna
be
clap.
an interesting endpoint for us.
Yeah, I'm gonna clap HK on the shoulder and go, "Good job, Rust Bucket. Let's go get snacks."
I have an idea to try to help move things, like move it along and maybe stop the noise. I don't like the noise.
Mhm.
I would like to try to. Could I try to use magic to like levitate it even just like 2-3 inches off the ground, so it stops grinding?
That would be a very good idea. Yes.
I'm
Yeah, you
going to
can.
try to do that.
Okay, and
Yeah.
it's magic. I locked my what's it with you, so you get +1.
Oh yeah. Whee! That is what is that number? 6, 7, 8, 9, because the +1. Yay.
Yeah, 9. Easy. You. Whoop. And as that gets lifted, you see HK like speed up, like exponentially, because there's no longer having to deal with dragging this. And I assume Siri gives direction back to the castle. And that will be a wonderful place for us to wrap up today on. Does anybody have any final comment to make in character before we wrap up the day? Siri, what was your final comment?
Don't forget fool.
Rizix and Xylee?
I already did it with the shoulder clap.
Mm-hmm.
I am very much focused on trying to keep this off the ground. Magic is not my strongest of suits, so I'm just hyper focused, not listening in on anything.
Oh, I'm very excited where this is going to go. All right, so we will wrap it up today there. I want to give a huge thank you to my wonderful players, and another big thank you to Dice and Teddy as well for having all of this exist. So you can go and follow Nerds with Dice over on Twitter at nerds w dice. You can also join the Discord server. I believe there should be a link below or a command in the chat you can use. So that's all that. Check that stuff out. I am the Bardic Knock, the facilitator of this. You can find me on the internet, Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube, all as the Bardic Knock. I mostly do stuff like this. Just take things that you like and just remind you of them and make you happy. That is my one goal in life, and I feel like I'm doing it kind of well currently. So that is me, Capjack. Who are you?
Hey everybody, I am Capjack, or you can also find me on twitch.tv/CaptainJRoss. You can find me here every Wednesday with these wonderful, amazing people. And on Thursdays, Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern, I'm over on the Dumpstack Charisma channel for Among Us. We should be playing tomorrow night, let's hope, on the new map. And so that should be a lot of fun and murdery goodness. Outside of that, yeah, there might be a future project coming up, but we will save that announcement for later. So yes, that's all for now.
I am intrigued by future projects, but I will be patient and I will wait like everybody else. Kay, who are you?
Hey, I'm Kay, aka Undead Kay. You can find me over on my Twitter where I occasionally post things, which is just at K_undead. You can also find me over on my own Twitch channel, which you can just search by Undead K and find me there. Usually every other Thursday I play or run a Curse of Strahd campaign where a lot of shenanigans happen. Some stuff went down last episode, but unfortunately it looks like we're gonna have to skip this week. So maybe I'll do something, maybe not. We'll see. Just to kind of fill the space. And yeah, future things plan and stuff and junk. So yeah.
I'm a big fan of stuff and junk. And then finally, Lauren. Lauren, who are you?
Yes, I am Lauren. You can find everywhere I'm at professionally on my website, lwsalinas.com. You can, in addition to finding me here on Wednesdays, on Sundays, you can find me talking Marvel, particularly the Marvel Cinematic Universe, on Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. If you go to geeks.live on Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern, that's where we're talking Falcon and Winter Soldier right now. We just had a guest, Charles, oh no, I blanked on his last name. Charles Singletary Jr., who is a speculative fiction writer. He was just a guest. And we will be having Emily from Fuckboys of Literature on this Sunday to talk Falcon and Winter Soldier. What else? Next we are talking Jessica Jones Season 2. I just had an audiobook I narrated come out, Complicit by Amy Rivers. Serious trigger warnings for sexual assault, but it's pretty much the proudest I've been of anything I've done so far. Connected with me on many different levels. Very, very emotionally hard to do, but I really liked it. So if you're interested, check that out. Again, look up LW Salinas on wherever you get your audiobooks. And I think that's it. Oh,
Thank
Twitter, at Sithwitch.
It's that one. The hell site.
Yeah, the hell site that I can't seem to stay away from.
It's like a train wreck. You just can't look away.
That is exactly what Twitter is. Okay.
But it also has wrestling and cute animal pictures. I retweet a lot of pictures of possums. So.
Possums.
Possums are great.
I love.
I was trying to figure out, because I love the amount of possums I end up seeing on my timeline. Because I never really pay attention to who's retweeting it. And I go, someone I know is retweeting possums, and I'm very happy. It makes me very happy whenever I see them.
The Possums Every Hour account is a treasure.
Possums every hour. That sounds magical.
It is.
Okay, so with that, I believe I found somebody to go and raid, so we will be raiding the Wandering Inn. They're playing something called either the game they're playing is bar brawl, or they're about to engage in a bar brawl. That's what their thing said. It said bar brawl. Like, who doesn't enjoy a good tavern fight? So we're gonna go and raid them, and we will see you all next week. So until then, stay safe and happy adventures. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And the raid is 2, 1. Click.
Just wave until we.